Remember, I've been pointing this out when price was up here. I said they were going to have to take profits on their positions, and that's exactly what they did. All right, look at the positions. How's it going, fellow traders? Magic Trader here, and we are back for another week. Yes, indeed, I did some analysis on the latest CFTC data that came out. Was recorded on June 3rd, 2025, but it only came out this past Friday. But here's the data. Here's what we have. Here's a snapshot of the positions held by the big institutions. And as I always like to do, I always like to take a look at the change column. And so let's just point that out right here. What do you see? What big numbers do we have? Bonds bearish, right? There you go. Bonds bearish. Bullish on gold. Somewhat bullish on the US dollar, Japanese yen, and that's about it. Okay, big one though is the bearish shift in positions on bonds. All right, so now that we know that, let's get into the other charts and see what's going on. So gold, look at that. I've been telling you that I'm going to be paying attention to gold and looking to see if they're going to start increasing their long positions again, okay? Remember, I've been pointing this out when price was up here. I said they were going to have to take profits on their positions, and that's exactly what they did. All right, look at the positions. They reduced them, 327 all the way down to 240,000 and even less than that. All right, so they took profits, which fueled a move to the downside, and it contacted the institutional buying zone, which I suspected was going to be the area that we were going to start to see them start to accumulate. And I said, I'm going to be watching for signals there, and we got the signals. We got two long signals, one off the weekly chart and one off a daily chart. And to confirm that they were buying, I wanted to see long positions increase, and this is exactly what is taking place. All right, if you're not convinced about the power of what it is that we do here at White Oak, I don't know what else to show you. All right, when price was up here, everybody's like, no, gold is not going to drop. Are you kidding me? And why is it going to drop there? There's no reason for it to drop there. Well, that's exactly what took place. And I told you before it took place, I told you why it was going to take place, and I told you exactly where the rebound was going to take place from. I mean, all before it happened. Pretty crazy. Now let's go to oil. So oil is moving up towards the area of supply that we have located on the monthly time frame. The only problem with this supply zone is that there wasn't much of an imbalance here from this area that was created. Not much of a move to the downside, so this supply is quite weak. If we look at long and short column, we can see that the short column has a little bit more action there. Okay, 157,000 is above their 13-period average, which is showing that they're doing something here. The coloration of the cells is a little bit red, not much, but just a tiny bit of redness. You can see the redness in the coloration of the cells here as well. So there was some bearishness. Now it's somewhat, neutral again. So we're not getting any strong indications that oil is going to do anything special in the near term or even in the medium term. So for that, we move along. And we go to the next one, the dollar. What do we see with the dollar? Interesting. Look at the columns, okay? They were bearish, and they've been closing off those short positions recently. If you look at longs, they're not even focused on longs. Look at the coloration of the long column, all right? It's blue. What does that tell you? That tells you that their positions are neutral. So we shouldn't be expecting any type of significant move to the upside. Could there be short-term move to the upside? Sure. I mean, at the end of the day, we are contacting some demand. But take a look at the RSI with this demand coming into play. Very weak, okay? This indicates to me that there's a good chance that price can continue to the downside, break through that area, and continue lower. Look at the coloration of the cells here. What color do you see? Red. That's bearish. So bearish RSI, bearish positioning, shorts are the main focus. Everything is pointing that we're going to see more downside. All right, Aussie. Here's an interesting one. Look at the long column. Okay, they took profits, the short column. They took profits on those shorts down at the lows. So I told you at some point they were going to have to close off those shorts. They did. That fueled a move to the upside. right into institutional supply. So we have institutional supply being contacted, and you know, we are thinking that, you know, when supply gets contacted, there should be a drop. But considering what we're seeing with the US dollar and the euro and the pound and gold, there's a good chance that this area of supply just breaks through and price moves to the upside. So we're watching for that, and we're going to see what takes place. At the end of the day, look at the long column. All right, longs are very cooled off. All right, they're blue, and they've been blue for some time. But remember what we've been learning about the Aussie over the last many months. The banks have been using short positions to move price. They increase shorts, it drops. They decrease shorts, it rallies. So they could be in the process of doing that once again. US CAD, all right, look at the long column. What do you see? They're adding back into their positions. Now, this was happening as we were getting that basing candle here on the weekly time frame, and you can see within that basing candle there was a move to the upside. So it is possible that this increase in longs was just well, it started from back here. It's all contained within this. There was a move to the upside, then down, and then up again. So that kind of explains why they were adding to their shorts, or their long, sorry. But look at the short column. Shorts are blue, neutral. They're not focusing on that right now. And even though we have a slight bias to the downside here, you know, when you look at the dollar and the euro and the pound, and we'll get to those ones after, there is evidence to support that the US CAD is going to drop, okay? Including the major areas of supply that have recently been contacted, okay? But we'll see what happens, but this is the bias for now. US Swiss longs are the column that have been focused on. As you can see, shorts have been blue for quite some time, meaning that they're really not focusing on short positions right now. So are they maybe preparing for a medium-term move to the upside? It is possible. It is possible. I will point out that the RSI here is very weak, as price was contacting some demand. So it could be that price is just going to break to the downside and break through that demand, or this is in the process of acquiring more strength to build pressure to the upside. It's possible, okay? It's something that I want you guys to keep an eye on. We're going to keep a close eye on the data just to see what's going on here, all right? Now we go to the euro. Look at the long column. Obviously, they are focused on the longs, and over the last many weeks, they've been increasing their long positions. But we're not very surprised, because we've been tracking that on the charts, and we can see, indeed, when they were aggressive with acquiring longs, it caused price to rally up. Now, what just recently happened is that they broke through this area of supply on the monthly time frame, and usually when they do that, it usually means they're clearing a path for a move lower. But it doesn't mean that they're going to take that path right now. They could retrace price back down, not this far, but I mean, they could retrace price back before gathering more ammunition to propel price even higher. That is a possibility. Okay, 202, maximum size is 266, so there is room for them to continue to add, but whether or not they're going to just continue pushing price up here or retrace, it's very difficult to say. Okay, so keep an eye on the data, keep an eye on price action is what I would say. The pound, look at positioning here. Okay, longs, they've been somewhat aggressive, and we can see that price has indeed been rallying straight up. But we are contacting some supply right now, okay? And this is the important thing. It was once contacted here. Now we're contacting it again here. So we have to recognize that supply is in play. But another thing I'll point out is that when supply was contacted this first time, it was somewhat aggressive and strong, okay, according to the RSI. And this second contact is showing the same strength, okay, as price is entering in there. So it's not that price is entering into supply and there's less buying taking place. It's still aggressive buying as that's happening. And that usually means that eventually that supply is going to be taken out and price is going to go higher. That's what it usually means, okay? But we'll continue to monitor that and see what happens. Now, US dollar, Japanese yen, look at this long column, okay? The longs have been very cooled off, and this happened right before contracts expired around March 18. And ever since then, they've been aggressive with their shorts, and we could see that being manifested on the charts as price was dropping. But where did it drop to? We told you it was dropping right into a demand area. And so we saw a couple tests of that demand area to the upside. Okay, RSI on the first test was pretty weak. Second test a little bit stronger. This could indicate that a short, maybe medium-term rally is in the works here before a larger long-term or medium to long-term move to the downside is about to take place. One thing I will point out is if you take a look at short positions, 204, that's maximum size. So typically when you reach maximum size, they take profits on them, and that's going to fuel a move to the upside as well. Okay, so there's a good chance that we see a move to the upside here. It's not the ideal time to be trading these pairs at this point, okay, is the point I'm trying to make for you here. Soon, yes, but right now, risky. And Kiwi, not much going on here. Okay, long columns is blue, means they're very cooled off, they're not focusing. And if you take a look at the short column, what do we see? You know, it's the same thing as Aussie. Okay, they had a big short position, they closed them off, and that's what fueled this move to the upside. So not much more to see here in terms of the position. I'll just be pointing out to you that this is in line with what's taking place with the Aussie. All right, folks, very good, very good. You got to join our Telegram channel because we just launched something really special. 7-day free. Yes, that's right. You heard it. 7-day free. I never offered ever since I started the school 7 days free. But so many people want to join. They want to come in. They want to take a look around. They've been burnt before. They want to see that it's legitimate stuff, that it's real good content. So I said, okay, how about I let you in my house for 7 days for free? Come in, 7 days, take a look around, all 3 levels of education. Browse, watch, and you'll see. And once you see, I'm very convinced that you're going to want to stay. All right? So that's what we did. And I hope you guys take advantage of that. All right? Free trial, guys. Take advantage of that. whiteoakfx.com. On the right-hand side, you'll see a little window. Just click on there. It'll take you to the pricing page. You got to fill out some stuff. Boom, you get 7 days for free. And if you like what you see and you see that it's very promising and you want to stick with it because you want to make money, just like I am, then you stick around. And if you don't, too bad, so sad. And we'll say goodbye. Anyways, we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.